Here are today's top stories. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. allocated 95 million pesos in aid for the recovery of towns in Negros Occidental in the aftermath of Typhoon Tino. The Philippine Air Force delivers relief goods to areas hit by Super Typhoon Uwan in southern Leyte and eastern Samar. The Department of Energy aims to fully restore power in areas affected by Super Typhoon Uwan within a month. The government is rolling out new climate-smart strategies to help the country adapt to the impacts of climate change. This is the Pna Headlines. I am William Theo. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has set aside 95 million pesos worth of financial aid for the recovery of several Negros Occidental towns severely hit by Typhoon Tino. 50 million pesos is allocated for the rehabilitation of the province of Negros Occidental. La Carlota City and the municipalities of La Castellana and Moises Padilla will receive 10 million pesos each. Binalbagan, Isabela, and Hinagaran towns will receive 5 million pesos each. Tourism Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco announced the Presidential Assistance Fund will be coursed through local government units. Frasco was in Negros Occidental with Education Secretary Sunny Angara to represent Marcos Jr. in addressing the situation and providing relief. The two cabinet secretaries led distribution of family food packs, family kits, and hygiene kits from the Department of Social Welfare and Development to affected families in evacuation centers and municipalities. They also turned over at least 100 jerry cans, a box of assorted medicines from the Department of Health, and 25 shelter-grade tarpaulins. The two officials later inspected residential areas and infrastructure sites, such as the collapsed Buhangin River Wipeout Bridge in La Castellana, to determine the necessary government assistance. Meanwhile, President Marcos Jr. has acknowledged calls to intensify the protection of the Sierra Madre mountain range due to its role in shielding Luzon from powerful typhoons. In a press briefing, Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the president has seen the benefits brought by the Sierra Madre and other mountain ranges. She said Malacanang is waiting for word from the president on the calls to protect Sierra Madre. Environmental groups have been warning against the degradation of the mountain due to threats such as illegal logging, mining, and large-scale infrastructure works. The government established the Sierra Madre Natural Park and initiated reforestation projects under the National Greening Program as part of efforts to protect the mountain range. The Philippine Air Force has conducted an airlift operation to transport relief goods to communities in Eastern Visayas hit by Super Typhoon Uwan. In a statement, Air Force spokesperson Colonel Maria Cristina Basco said one of its S-70I Black Hawk helicopters delivered 430 pails of hygiene kits from the Tactical Operations Group 8 headquarters in Tacloban City to Bontoc, Southern Leyte, and Giwan Airport in Giwan, Eastern Samar. It also transported 250 boxes of family food packs for distribution to affected families in Hinunangan, Southern Leyte. Air Force, Army, and Philippine National Police personnel, together with civilian volunteers, assisted in unloading and distributing the relief items. Basco said the mission supports the government's ongoing humanitarian assistance and disaster response operations to aid those affected by devastation brought by the super typhoon. This as President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. earlier ordered government agencies to hold round-the-clock relief and rehabilitation efforts, focusing on evacuation, medical deployment, and clearing operations. Meanwhile, China announced that it will donate 141 million pesos to the Philippines to help with the devastation brought by Typhoon Tino and Super Typhoon Uwan. The Chinese embassy in Manila said on Tuesday that China has allocated $1 million in cash and 10 million Chinese yuan renminbi in kind as relief aid. The embassy said relevant Chinese provinces, local Chinese communities, and Philippine-based Chinese businesses have also extended aid to the affected communities. It also extended its condolences and sympathies to the victims, saying it hopes that the Filipino people will recover and rebuild their homes soon. The Department of Energy, or DOE, is eyeing to full restoration of power in areas affected by Super Typhoon Uwan within a month. In an online briefing on Tuesday, Energy Secretary Sharon Garin said around 3.4 million households are currently without power, showing the gravity of impact by Uwan. She said the hardest hit areas are the Mountain Province, Camarines Norte, and Camarines Sur. Garin added that restoration efforts started even before Uwan left the Philippine area of responsibility early Tuesday, but noted that a large part of Luzon and some parts of the Visayas have suffered from the impact of the typhoon. Data from DOE showed that power supply in all grids is sufficient even after 29 power plants were affected, 9 of which are up for restoration until Wednesday. For off-grid power, 17 diesel power plants, or DDPs, are in normal operations to date, while 40 are on standby. But with distribution line in total power interruption, 16 are with distribution line with partial power interruption. 2 69 kilovolt lines are with ongoing line assessment, 1 in normal operations, and 2 DDPs have sustained damages but are now being restored. In terms of transmission lines, 108 were affected but 83 have been restored, with full restoration eyed by November 20. Meanwhile, the National Electrification Administration and the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines are studying the possibility of operating an island mode operations of transmission line for the Bicol region by using power plants to improve their situation. The government is launching new climate-smart strategies to help the Philippines adapt to the worsening impacts of climate change, according to Malacanang on Tuesday. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has ordered the development of science-driven and technology-based programs to enhance the country's disaster resilience and food security. She cited that among the government's ongoing efforts is the automated furrow irrigation system by the Department of Science and Technology that can conserve water and improve crop yields through precise irrigation. Another project is the Smart Farming Initiative that uses oil and moisture sensors to increase agricultural productivity. Castro added that the administration is also developing a national adaptation plan for a climate-smart and climate-resilient Philippines, together with the State Weather Bureau's continued investment in early warning systems and disaster preparedness technologies. The president has long emphasized the need for global collaboration in addressing the problem of the climate crisis. In our business news, an official of the Federation of the Philippine Industries, or FPI, on Tuesday said greater coordination between the government and industry players resulted in almost steady prices of commodities for the Christmas season. FPI Chairperson Beth Lee cited the Department of Trade and Industry's recent announcement that a large number of Noche Buena items retained their 2024 prices. A few items increased while some even decreased. Lee said that manufacturers have stepped up by absorbing higher costs from fuel, logistics, packaging, and raw materials, even as recent typhoons disrupted local supply chains, which shows their commitment to consumers and to sustain the holiday tradition. She added that food costs have driven upward by global and local factors, such as peso's depreciation, expensive imported inputs, fuel and logistic costs, increase in packaging materials globally, and recent typhoons. To maximize the collaboration, Lee emphasized the need for proactive measures to make the price stability truly sustainable. Meanwhile, the Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, in Negros Oriental on Tuesday recognized 20 establishments in the province through the Bagwis program for their commitment to upholding consumer rights and fair trade practices. The Bagwis Awards Gold Seal was presented to 5 establishments, Silver Seal to 11 establishments, and 4 establishments received the Bronze Seal. DTI Negros Oriental Provincial Director Juliet Banogon said the Bagwis Award of DTI recognizes local establishments for their promotion of fair trade laws and for compliance with agency requirements, especially for product mandatory standards. For Gold Award, Banogon said that there is an additional layer which is in compliance with the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO. The Bagui seal will be displayed at these businesses to inform the public that they have complied with the DTI regulations and place a premium on consumer welfare. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the PNA Headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. You may also watch the PNA Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. Stay with us for more news updates. And it is 43 days to go before Christmas. And remember, when God allows you to go through a storm, it is a vote of heaven's confidence in you. I am William Theo. This is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.